Russia-Ukraine war latest news. Job advertising for trench-digging bombard Russians. A fresh report claims that Russia is recruiting people to build trenches in its border regions. In the meantime, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky claims that Kyiv's troops had advanced over a mile in a few hours. On Wednesday, the BBC's Russian edition reported that a Russian job web had at least 30 advertising in the past few days seeking trench builders in Kursk. According to the source, most of the advertisements requested that shift workers help construct different kinds of fortifications, such as trenches and anti-tank barriers. For comment, Newsweek has emailed the Russian Defense Ministry. After more than a week of surprise incursions, Ukraine has launched its most substantial assault into Russian territory since the war started on February 24, 2022, with its entry into Russia's Kursk region. The Russian Federal Security Service, the FSB, has blocked Ukrainian progress, according to senior Moscow officials. The forces are participating in a counter-terrorism operation. Ukrainian forces have made steady advance in Kursk over the past few days, according to Russia's community of notable military bloggers, who are a reliable source of battle information that the Kremlin and Western analysts keep under wraps. While Kyiv officials are finally speaking out about the incursion after days of silence, Zelensky stated on Tuesday that the Ukrainian military presently controls 74 towns in Kursk. According to Colonel General Alexander Syrsky, head of the Ukrainian army, Kyiv has authority over little less than 400 square miles of Kursk as of Monday. The extent to which Ukraine controls the area is a matter of debate among Western analysts. According to Zelensky's subsequent statement on Wednesday, Kyiv has been making progress, advancing in the Kursk region, 1 to 2 kilometers in various regions since the beginning of the day. This would indicate that in the span of a few hours, Ukraine managed to move slightly more than a mile in the area. On Wednesday, Belgorod, another Russian region, also proclaimed a state of emergency. Located to the southeast of Kursk, Belgorod has a border with Ukraine. Over the weekend, the BBC reported that Russian forces were constructing more defensive lines surrounding the Kursk nuclear power station, which is located on the western outskirts of the regional capital Kursk and on the fringe of the town of Kurchatov. The BBC reports that one employment had detailed round-the-clock trench digging surrounding Kursk as a second line of defense for the city. According to the think tank located in Washington, the Institute for the Study of War, Russia invested significant resources into constructing border fortifications in Kursk, but the necessary manpower were not available to protect them. Upon crossing the border, Ukrainian troops nearly immediately reached the western outskirts of Sudza, one of the targeted border towns in Kursk, according to one Ukrainian soldier in the Sumy area who was watching the city, as reported to the BBC by the same source. It is not apparent what the operation's long-term objectives are or what the next move will be. Despite this, Kyiv has made it clear that it is not interested in capturing the land of the Kursk region, and that the incursion is a defensive measure against Russia's devastating airstrikes on Ukraine. When asked about the situation on Russian soil, Zelensky stated that Ukraine was actively protecting itself and its citizens in border towns. Robert Murrett, a professor of practice at Syracuse University and a former U.S. Navy vice admiral, speculated that Ukraine's invasion was an attempt to weaken Russia's fighting capabilities within Ukraine. The next 2 to 3 days will be significant for both parties, Murrett warned, adding that Russia has not yet provided a fully formed response. On Wednesday, unverified reports emanating from both Ukrainian and Russian media indicated that Ukraine had seized 4 villages in Kursk.